it has work, home, sell, I'm dialing 369.
Yep.
So that's 9 dials on the one lead, and I'll dial straight through, and then I'll take a break and dial it again at a different time of day, because sometimes they're not home. I'll dial from another phone number. I use Google Voice, 3 different phone numbers. I mean, and then, you know, if it is a lead that can be door knocked legally, then I go over there. Even if they say no to me on the phone, I go to their house and make sure that I get a no, like in person. And then I just give them the lead and I finally close out the file. But I just don't let it go. I don't let anything go.
Leslie Scofield, thank you so much for joining us. You are an absolute stone cold assassin insurance producer. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I'm super excited that we were able to link up recently in person, finally, after crossing paths over the course of the last 5 years.
I can tell you that I am extremely impressed. I've watched you firsthand. We got to spend some time together at the Ultimate Agent. And man, did you take control. You really are going to shine on that. The way that you were able to communicate with not only the actual agents that were there, but also, you know, I heard you on the phone with setting appointments, and you are an absolute killer when it comes to understanding the, you know, customer, what they need, feeling that call out, getting the appointment, but also just going in the field. And you're just a straight shooter. And to prove that, you know, you have the numbers to back it up. You've gotten $20 million in annuity rollovers. You're a face-to-face crusher. You did $78,000 of life premium in 1 month before. You do all things basically except PNC. You are a master of uncovering opportunity in the home. I can't wait to unpack some of this stuff. But if I had to ask you one question, what is your favorite thing about what you do as this insurance industry sort of changes and grows? You know, you being a very strong, you know, personality in the industry. What's your favorite part of this whole game right now?
Honestly, the best part for me is the clients never change. So behind the scenes, no matter what happens, you know, with us when COVID hit, I'm still in my house. I just shut down my office completely, went totally in home because I was a field agent anyway. And I do telesales, but the clients never change. And for me, I need variety in my career. I jumped from hospitality to bartending, furniture sales. I've always done so much sales in different arenas. I even built a catering business one time. But the clients are what keep me going because each personality is different. And I tell my clients, each person has a different thumbprint. And so each person's medication is different. Each person's need is different. And that is what makes me feel fulfilled in this business because it gives me the variety that I need to stay in the business. It's not repetitive.
And each home is different. And also, you know, one of the things that I was able to witness firsthand was just your ability to, you know, feel out and uncover potential opportunity, consult them, speak to what they want to hear from a consumer standpoint, help them in their needs, and then provide solutions quickly based on their needs. And that has led you to be a consistent $400,000 a year type producer. I mean, having months like 78K of issue paid, you know, that puts you in a very elite group. So how are you able to be so successful specifically? I understand you focus on the customer and all that, but I want to kind of know behind the scenes, how have you been able to sort of develop this skill set that isn't just, well, naturally I'm awesome and I've been able to just figure it out to, you know, as I go?
Yeah. So a lot of my success comes from the fact that I've been able to get leads, my hand on leads, since I started. A lot of people come into the industry really, really broke, or they get sold a pipe dream that they can make all this money, but they don't understand the investment that it takes to get in front of clients. There's the old school way, which is really, really difficult. And then there's the easy way. Why would you sit and cold call people when you have people that are looking for services that you offer? So right off the gate, I was buying leads from day one, and I didn't have the money to buy leads. I actually got leads given to me that were recycled, 3 years old, and those were free. So I started with nothing, like a lot of agents that come into the business, but I understand what it takes to reinvest. And the minute I sold my first policy, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was an old Oxford final expense policy. It's still on the books, I think. And I took that $2,300 check and bought brand new leads. So it's been really cool to watch the lead game change, because I remember when Facebook leads didn't exist. Like, I'm an old direct mail, old school like person. I still to this day do direct mail leads. They're my favorite lead. But I also do telemarketing leads and SEO leads and all of these different things that didn't exist when I first started.
Yep. Right on. So, that's what I think a lot of people don't quite understand is they look at the barrier to entry of insurance and they say, well, I got to get my license and then I started a business, right? Well, the issue with that is your warm market's only going to take you so far. And if you really need, activity breeds, momentum, momentum brings sales and revenue. And a lot of people are afraid to reinvest, I think. And that holds a lot of people back overall. I mean, but you also have to have the confidence to be able to just, do what it takes to get in touch with that lead. A lot of people think and underestimate, what it takes to be to work that direct mail. So let's just say let's just say you get an average lead batch of 25 leads from whatever source, doesn't matter, whether it's age, direct mail, SEO, digital, whatever it is. How are you going to work those 25 leads?
Oh man, I sit and I don't care of the lead type. I don't care how old it is. I don't look at the information on the lead. A lot of people have analysis paralysis. They'll look at, oh, the date of birth. Oh my God, I won't be able to sell them anything because they're 80. Or they'll look at, oh, they're 27. They're not going to buy mortgage protection because they're too young, and I don't even look at the information on the lead. I just dial the lead 3 to 5 times each phone number. So if it has work, home, sell, I'm dialing 369.
Yep.
So that's 9 dials on the one lead, and I'll dial straight through, and then I'll take a break and dial it again at a different time of day, because sometimes they're not home. I'll dial from another phone number. I use Google Voice. We use CRM Go High Level. So 3 different phone numbers. I mean, and then, if it is a lead that can be door knocked legally, then I go over there. Even if they say no to me on the phone, I go to their house and make sure that I get a no, like in person. And then I just give them the lead and I finally close out the file. But I just don't let it go. I don't let anything go.
So if you had, let's just say in general, like whether it's direct mail, Facebook, SEO, YouTube, whatever the lead is. So out of 25 leads, if you do those things, how many of those 25 are you getting in touch with?
That's an easy breakdown. So if you get 25 leads a week, you should probably get in touch with like 8 to 10. I mean, if you have a really good brand new fresh batch, especially if they're brand new, like not direct mail, if they're coming off of the internet, you need to call them right away. If you do that, you can get in touch with 12 to 15. So I think time is of the essence with this new leads. You guys that are doing all this new lead branding, you have to know, like, you need to call them right away.
Yep. So, okay. So let's just say in general. So let's just say you're going through 25 leads. You're expecting, you just said anywhere from 8 to 15 is what you're going to get in touch with. So when you say in touch with, does that mean you have a real conversation to potentially set a meeting?
Oh,
what
I'm
does that
booking
look
an
like to you?
appointment. Yeah, it goes 2 different ways. So, I actually developed a relationship with 2 of our carriers that actually give me leads for our state Medicaid, department. So those leads I can pitch right away on the phone and do a telesale recorded call and just get them done. But on my direct mail or on like final expense leads that are digital YouTube, those I'm booking an appointment depending on like how I feel on the call. If I feel like I can close it on the call, I'm going to give it a go. But if I can't, I'll revert back to meeting them in person. And I mean, I have a pretty high close ratio in the house. It's like 90-something%.
So let's just say you've got 25 leads. You've got 15 that you've been in touch with. You're going to set 10 meetings?
Yeah, I'll set 10 and sell 8. I'll sell 8 a week off 25 leads, 8 to 10.
So what I feel like is you're telling me right now is the message that I just have to get across to the industry at whole. And so obviously Cody does 8% nation, right? 92% of insurance agents fail. And one of the main reasons I feel that people fail is a lack of marketing understanding of what the heck's going on and what it takes to get in touch with these leads in 2022. That's a big piece of it, but also the mentorship. So what I want to talk about, you've given us a very clear picture of how to work leads. And I'm telling you, whoever's listening to this, if you do what she just told you to do, you will always get a return on investment of your leads on a long enough timeline. You may have like a bad batch or whatever that gets 25. Let's just say you get 25, and for some reason you only get a hold of 6 or whatever. But what anybody that knows anything will tell you is that do something consistently, and over time, if you do the activity that she just broke out, you will always get your money back on whatever lead source there is. I don't care if it's callback or YouTube or SEO or direct mail, or it doesn't matter. You're going to get your money back. Then it just becomes, what type of lead do I like the most? Like, or what type of life insurance am I going to sell? So like right now, like mortgage protection as an example is something I know you do a lot of. Right now, the really only real lead source that I feel like has serious legs on it is direct mail for mortgage protection, or age direct mail, period. Right. So what happens is you end up trying to feel out, okay, you know what? I want to do LIS, or I want to do DSNPs, or I want to do general Medicare, or I want to do final expense, or I want to do life. Each of those different segments have different nuances of what types of leads are best. But the key that is consistent with all of those is if the activity that you do is the same as what Leslie just broke down, you will always get your money back. It doesn't become a marketing expense. It just becomes a cost of goods sold, if that makes sense. Now, let's pivot over to like mentorship. So what have you learned? How long have you been in the game?
I got licensed in June of 2015. I joined a company that shall not be named, but we were sort of captive, but not really. Low comp, recycled leads, flip chart, door to door. I had a Garmin back then. We had to plug in the zip codes and like do 10 at a time. And I walked up to this lady's house and she was like, I'm not that age. I'm 5 years older than that. And I was like, And then the second warning was I was sitting in a client's home and they were like, hey, can you help me with this? And I was like, what is that? And I was like, no, like this is not happening to me. I will never have somebody ask me about something and me be the fool, because I'm the licensed person. So I left. That was June, August, September. Got with another IMO, became a broker, and I never had a month less than $10,500 when I first started.
So 7 years you've been in the game. And I know that you've been a master of sort of feeling out the opportunity, and really, if you can get in the home, you can uncover a need and help a client, right? So that's changed over time. I know when we spoke, recently, you kind of had like a whole new strategy that was focused on sort of carrier stuff and all that. I don't want to get into that necessarily. What I want to focus on is that you and I, if anybody listening to this, we do absolutely care about the success of agents. As long as they're going to do what it takes to be successful. Now, a lot of times people throw out this word mentor, and what does that really mean? And I feel that there's an opportunity right now where there's a lot of people coming into the industry, because traditionally the insurance industry has been a pyramid hierarchy, almost like a pyramid scheme, where the top of the pyramid controlled the mentorship and the knowledge and the contract levels and the leads. Those days are over. Okay, I'm telling you, it's done. Okay, you can now find the information. Yes, you can find the information you need to be successful without joining someone's upline, and you can find lead sources that's the same lead sources that you would get from the IMO that has their unique lead. In fact, if I told you how many companies that I do their leads for on the backside, that's their lead source, you'd be shocked. It's basically most of the big ones. Okay. And so essentially nobody knows we exist because we're just the backside fulfillment of all these guys, but it's their leads. Right. So it's kind of funny how that goes. However, what I want to tell you is I want to talk about the mentorship side of what does it mean to truly bring alongside, like, because I don't feel like once you have the leads, understand how to work the leads, that's one thing, but you also kind of have to know like which way is north and which way is south and west and east. And so as you've sort of developed these understandings of how to get to $400,000 a year, what do you think the key points of mentorship are for someone that's really trying to like find their way in this particular industry of which way to be successful?
I think the need of the agent is going to be what comes first. If they're broke, their mentor should know how to get them paid fast. And so like starting with mortgage protection might not be a good fit, just because the advance is too high. The sale is a little bit more challenging. It's more of an art because it's really in depth and it can be really overwhelming for the agent. So I think if the agent needs some money like upfront right away, the mentor should know what to do. Like they should be able to tell them exactly which leads they need and give them a simple process.
Correct.
If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What else?
And I feel like there's a lot of agents that have been on that hamster wheel of what they started in, and they've never had the courage or the guidance to expand into a different market, which actually I became a master of swapping. I was like, let me try this lead, let me try this lead, because I started wanting to know everything about insurance because I just couldn't understand rejection, and I couldn't handle the rejection in the house that I had to give to the client. Like, I don't know how to do that. Let me go find a contract real quick. So
Sure.
I just never wanted to be that person. And it can be very overwhelming for an agent to tackle too many pots at one time. So I don't know. I just feel like if you're looking for somebody, a real good mentor should either be a master at something that you want to like go all in with and finish out your career there and build and just figure out, like, do you want to be an agency owner? Do you want to have agents? Do you just want to service clients and have a big giant book of Medicare business? Do you just want to be an annuity producer and get big fat checks twice or 4 times a month? Like, you can work this business, however you see fit.
That's the greatest part about it, is this is an
Yeah,
entrepreneur's dream. However, I
right.
think that there's a lot of people that, and I say this sometimes, so I got to repeat myself because I truly believe it to my core. Secure agent marketing, we work with literally thousands of insurance agents to get them leads or marketing or whatever it is, right? And I'm telling you right now, I can separate those insurance agents into 2 buckets. There's I'm an insurance agent and I'm using this to create income for myself. And so therefore, I'm afraid to invest in myself or my business or 8% or events or whatever, because that's taken away from my income.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side, which is I'm a business owner and entrepreneur, and I'm using insurance to fund my business. And I know I'm going to reinvest. I'm going to reinvest as much as I can, not
Yeah.
in me or Landon or security marketing or whatever, but just in myself. I don't need what we do with leads and with all the training that we do. We're just an option. There's many people out there that can help you be successful. But I find that a lot of times it's hard to get somebody to change that mindset unless they have an epiphany moment where they say, you know what, I am on the hamster wheel. I really have been looking at this as a job, but yet I'm actually an entrepreneur. Maybe I should start acting like an entrepreneur. And that's
Mhm.
when you really get to the next level and start to begin to scale.
And it's
Would you
okay
agree?
to
Would you
go
agree with that?
slow. Like, you can go slow. It's okay to go slow. And I think we were talking about this earlier, is like the pressure that new agents have on them to like go fast isn't always the best thing. Like, it's okay to just go slow and build a little thing and then decide what you love the most.
Sure, sure. Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask a personal question. So I'm sure you have some pretty big scars in your career, right?
Oh
So
God.
what's one
Great
of the
question.
biggest scar that you could roll up your sleeve and be like, all right, let me tell you how I got this guy right here. Like, I want to learn from that. What do you got for me, Leslie?
Oh, oh, buddy. Okay. Um, hmm. Geez, that's tough. I have been through a lot in this business. The biggest scar, okay, I just talked to one of the other coaches that I was with you not too long ago. And I would say probably the biggest scar I have is, oh man, I've never said this out loud in public. Okay. Jumping ship, having shiny object syndrome, and allowing that fear of what everybody else was doing get into my head, and it made me move prematurely, and I missed a very big boat. I missed a very big opportunity because of I didn't stay in my lane long enough. And anybody, by the way, most of the people that come into this business have done some form of network marketing. And a lot of people drop out of network marketing because they don't stay in it long enough. And all of the people at the top of the food chain of those pyramids will tell you that they became as successful as they are because they just stuck it out. Even if they just had a subscription for freaking 12 years and they built really slow, they stuck it out. And I think in insurance, we have an opportunity to grow way faster than any network marketing option. But don't jump ship so early just because such and such over here looks like they have better ads or better comp or whatever. I think that staying with the company that you're with is really important. And I wish that I had done that. I wish that I
Well,
had done that.
I think there's a lot of in this business, there's so many ways to make money that you, like you said, you can kind of get in this situation where, you know, what's over there? That guy looks like he's, you know, like grass is greener is a cliche, but in this business, the grass has never been greener across the fence because there's always this like veneer of BS across everybody. Like, because you kind of have to do that.
What's
And
the catch?
I don't even think it's on purpose, Leslie. I think people
No.
just they automatically overstate the good and understate the bad just automatically because we're entrepreneurs, and honestly that's kind of one of the attributes of a business owner. But I can tell you right now, the grass isn't greener. You know what I mean? Although if there's some character things going on or ethical things going on, etc.,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother issue.
That's
But
different.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like just chasing the next thing with the next person or the next group is not the answer for sure. I can tell
No,
you
and
that
that
much.
cost me big time. That cost me big time. Yeah, it definitely that is, I would say stick with what you are, plant your own seeds with all of the lead resources we have now. You could literally work with any IMO anywhere and be successful.
Correct. It's all the
I mean,
same stuff
nobody walks
anyways.
around with all of the bad. Imagine if all of the IMOs put all of their negative stuff up front first and we sorted out that. I wish they did because like then I could go, okay, who's got the bigger pile of crap over here?
Exactly. Well, but the reality is, you know, I've heard somebody say recently, like, you know, like everybody's got issues, and
Yeah.
like the worst place on the world is Facebook
Oh,
because there can be like 20 people, which there's a 1.1 million insurance agents in this country right now, and there can be 20 people in one Facebook group with a
dog.
thread that's 20 people long that just
Oh,
throws mud on everything and everybody sucks and all that. And it's such a joke. Like, it is so pathetic to
yeah.
watch that. And all the names that are on that list that are actually piling on are just like, you know, it's just like, dude, do you really have time to be trolling Facebook and talking the
For real.
negativity about this
Why
particular
aren't you
IMO
writing
or
an
this?
application?
Exactly. Anybody I know that's real producers, they're not partaking in any of that crap. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're not doing that junk, you know? And
Yeah.
so it's easy to kind of get on that bandwagon and go on the negative side. And I laugh about it now because some of the silly things that me and Cody have been involved in are just so
You
sad, you
posted
know?
about it recently and it really encouraged me. I want to tell you. I think you posted like anything negative coming from anyone's mouth anymore. I'm not responding and I might actually just unfollow you and like disconnect from you. And it is so important to protect that energy. And that got on me when I read that day and I was like, "Oh, can you imagine what would happen if I just took 2 steps back from everybody that said something negative?
Sure, sure. Well,
Imagine if you protected that piece that you have,
and I was thinking also too about my own mouth. Like, I wonder if it's possible, Leslie. Is it actually possible for nothing negative to come out of your and I's mouth? Is that
Oh my,
possible?
I know that's what got under my skin when you put I was like, and then
I
and then
think it
my
is.
husband came in that day and said something. I was like, ugh. What did you just say? You're breaking my positivity bubble.
That's funny. Well,
Oh
I
my
think
God,
it's
serious.
possible.
You start paying attention to it when you're more aware of like what's coming out of your mouth. It's
I
so
think it's true. I think it's true, and I do think it's possible for nothing negative to come out of my mouth. And I think we create these habits sometimes where we think being negative is just being honest, or like we kind of like there's a way to be constructive about any situation, and
falling
and
on the
and
sword. Sandwich.
exactly,
The sandwich.
exactly,
Where you're
exactly.
you're like, hey, you're like this. I call it the sandwich because I do it in the house where I'm like, oh, this is great, but blah 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 blah. But we can fix it with this. It's like nice, negative, nice, or the opposite where my face is like, you don't have what? Oh my God. Well, that's okay. I think let me just show you this. I might
Yeah,
have a solution. So I call it
yeah.
the sandwich, where
That's
you kill
awesome.
them and then you raise them back. It's
There we
like,
go. We do that for our reviews for employees as well. It's like if there's something negative, we'll be
yeah.
positive, negative, positive. All right.
You can
So this has been
literally use it with everything. You can use it with your kids.
this is true.
It's great.
So I appreciate your time. I want to know if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to sort of connect with you?
Okay, so I have a website, lesliescofield.com. You can go on there. I have this interview is going to be posted on there. My interview with Cody, the 8% figure class that I did, the master class, that'll all be on there. And then Instagram is I am Leslie_Scofield, and it's Scofield. I think you can see my name at the bottom of the screen. It doesn't have an H in it. Everybody tries to put an H in it, and I'm on Facebook Messenger, everywhere. Instagram. I'm in this new roller skating kick right now. I'm finally found my hobby back from childhood. And so if you see me rolling around with my Medicare t-shirts on at our events, and yeah, that's me. I'm wearing the Medicare mask and the roller skates.
That's awesome. Well, it's been really fun developing a friendship with you. And I do think that you're one of the most authentic people that I've met in terms of just, you know, I've come across a lot of people in the industry that they're your friend one day, and then the next day, politically, it isn't the right thing. So they're going to stab you in the back. You know, I've learned that the hard way. I kind of was naive early. And so I really appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your honesty. You're always just a straight shooter. And, you know, we had some really cool times together, and just, you know, hanging out and spending time in a secret undisclosed location where we were together with the Ultimate Agent. But I really do appreciate you, your friendship, your, you know, we'll see at 8%. Also,
yes.
Any of you people that want to tackle, you know, Leslie on her roller skates.
Yes. I'm so excited about it.
She'll be sitting in the Fires tickets.
Yes, we're in the Fire section, but I will be all around available. And like, if you want to get me in person, that is your time to do it for sure, because I have a majorly busy schedule and I'm super excited. The ladies event is going to be awesome. I'm going to be there with Lauren. Please make sure that you guys sign up for that. It's going to be great.
Boom. All right. I appreciate you very much. We'll talk soon. All right.
Thanks.
All right. See ya.